This is Just Plain Radio. Greg, a co-pilot. That's me, along with Captain Dennis, and our special guest, Rod Machado. He's like the big guns. We're running the big guns for the holidays to help inspire me to learn how to fly here in 2022. Maybe you as well might pick up a few little, nuggets of knowledge to kind of get you up on that hump, get you back in the cockpit to learn to fly or just get active again. I mean, that's kind of been your goal overall in your career of aviation. Am I missing something, Rod? I think that's what the vibe I get from you all the time when we hear from you in your books and your seminars and presentations and such. What do you think?
Well, pretty much, Greg. As a matter of fact, ever since in 1976, when United Airlines brought me in for an interview, I had a fresh ATP, and they brought me in for airline transport pilot certificate, brought me in for an interview, gave me the interview, and then they stopped hiring for 4 years. So
Okay.
they took a look at my 2,500 hours of Cessna 150 time and said, we need to let the crop mature. So, but after that, I realized what the thing I wanted to do more than anything was just teach people how to fly. It is one of the most exciting, fun, unique things that I've ever done. And I was so fortunate. I learned at Amelia Reed Aviation in Northern California at Reed Hillview Airport, and had the benefit of learning from World War II taught flight instructors and or their progeny. And it was so incredible because you actually learn how to fly an airplane. You learn stick and rudder skills. You learn what the rudder is for, and you learn how to make the airplane do exactly what you want it to do. And it gives you such a great sense of confidence, and that's what I learned. I wasn't frightened of stalls when I was a student pilot. I enjoyed them because I knew that stall recovery was, and here's the key word, predictable. I knew how to fly an airplane in such a way that nothing it did would be unpredictable. And now that doesn't mean I didn't operate outside the envelope of the airplane, of course. I stayed within the operating envelope, speed and pitch and bank, but it was always predictable. And then I took an aerobatic course, and then I learned how to do other great things outside the normal operating envelope. But confidence was the key there. And so being fortunate to have a good flight instructor was the key. And I think for today that many students that are learning to fly, as I go back to my original point, it's incumbent upon them to make sure they pick the right flight instructor. And that's a flight instructor that has a good appreciation of stick and rudder skills. I think we place far too much reliance on equipment today in an airplane. And as a result, we let technology substitute for basic skills. And when that happens to a certain degree, the imbalance is such that we become reliant on technology, and now we fly an airplane frightened and scared. And if you think I'm kidding, I am not. The kidding stuff starts at the end of this radio show. This is fact right now. There are a lot of people that fly airplanes, even airline pilots, that are actually very anxious about being in the airplane because sometimes they wonder if they know exactly what the airplane is going to do, and they may doubt their ability to control it, and that's a fact. I've just seen this way too many times. Reliance on technology versus good basic stick and rudder skills is the key. I'll give you a classic example of that. I've talked to several pilots over the years that want to put an angle of attack indicator in their airplane.
Right.
Now, angle of attack indicators are great to put in an airplane for one very good reason. If you pull out the ADF and you have a hole in the panel, then the angle of attack indicator is a good thing to plug it up with.
Okay.
But as far as an angle of attack indicator being necessary to fly an airplane safely, that's an affectation. That is it's something you absolutely do not need to fly safely. The draw on the yoke of an airplane, the airspeed indicator under under 1G or close to 1G conditions is all the angle of attack indication that you need. One can intuit the angle of attack that way. Good attitude flying skills. And there have been 4 major studies on angle of attack indicators over the years. The latest one was the Pegasus study. They spent thousands of dollars on the Pegasus study, and here's what they determined from the Pegasus study. They determined that an airplane flown on final approach with an angle of attack indicator can fly a stabilized approach for the last half mile on final. That was the major conclusion, or one of the major conclusions, but in my estimation, the major one of the Pegasus study. And my response to that was, I have student pilots that can fly a stabilized approach on the last half mile of final. They only have 10 to 12 hours, and they can do that every single time because they know how to attitude fly. So we convince people they need technology. I'm trying to convince people that what they need to do is return back to basic good stick and rudder flight skills, attitude flying skills. And that is such an inspiring and confidence inducing thing. Find a good instructor that knows how to attitude fly. Remember, it's you have to do a little gumshoe work to do this, a little detective work, a little Baker Street reasoning sometime in order to find out who the best instructor is. Oh, here's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
If you want to find out who a really good instructor is, go to the DPE, like Captain Ed, and ask him. You want to know why? Because he's the guy that sees the products, or she's the person that sees the products of all the flight training activity in the area. That's gold. It's a valuable way to find a good CFI.
Right.
Useful.
Now, in my case, though, I must say, Ed is now what, a DP, what? DPE?
He's a DPE, the examiner.
Yeah, but he was also my flight instructor a few years ago. And I've already told him, I said, like, so if I do my check ride with you, it's going to go much smoother. And he go, oh, hell no. You don't want to have me.
Remember, Greg, he was waiting for me to get my CFI so he could hand you off to me. That was his goal all along. Okay. He just wanted to keep stringing you along long enough to give me time to catch up and take over. Because
because I'm a special case. Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Captain Ed's goal was handing Greg off to somebody else.
Exactly.
You should have known something. You should have known something was wrong when he moved to another town and didn't give you his forwarding phone number.
Yeah, that happened.
So, yeah, exactly.
Well, like I said, I'm not necessarily a good example in this scenario, but I am a special case that we'll follow the progress.
Well, Greg,
accordingly.
we're all special cases, Greg. So
okay, well, thank you.
Welcome
Rod.
to the
club. I appreciate that. Yes, I do feel connected to the aviation community. They're just as twisted as I on many levels. I've hung out at enough events to know that we share that common bond among pilots and pilot wannabes like myself. Rod, thank you so much for being on Just Plane Radio. We appreciate it, and it's rodmachado.com. Check it out.